Howdy, Cup, and welcome to another episode for the Funky Pod special tiny hotel room edition. I'm in a hotel. I'm in Berlin, in Germany right now. I'm at a conference, and that's actually what I'm going to talk about now. One thing, however, before I talk about the conference, before I talk about Republica 23, man, hotel rooms in Germany are tiny and ridiculously expensive compared to Thailand, where I usually reside. So, yeah. So, welcome to my tiny hotel room. It's way more expensive than a 5-star hotel room in Thailand. Hey, I'm recapping Republica 23 a little bit because, well, it's been the first time in several years, I don't know, 5-6 years for me that I've been at Republica. I used to go a lot back then when they would invite me almost every year as a speaker. Now I had to wait a little bit until I got an invitation again. Hey, Republica, what's up? Because otherwise I just can't, I don't I can't make a case for it if I'm not going at least a little bit for work. And if I'm a speaker, if I speak somewhere at a conference, then I can get the time off from university, and it's a kind of a work trip, so to speak, at least a little bit. If that's not the case, it's just hard to make the case for a flight halfway around the world that's really expensive and basically needs all the budget that we would have in the faculty for trips like this. So I feel only as an attendee that I wouldn't even dare to ask for it. So I only ask for support there when I'm actually speaking and when I'm actually contributing and working. So that's why I can only make the trip to Republica when I actually speak, which I was lucky enough to get the invite this year again. And I have to say it right away, it was awesome. The last time I've been at Republica was a little bit, I don't know, the vibe wasn't as, friendly, as energetic back then, maybe. Maybe it was just me. I was in a different, state, in a different situation at work, maybe. But this time around, and I did have some, not issues, but I did have some things that I'm thinking about, oh, hey, what happened there? But generally speaking, I think the event was fantastic. I think that's the first time I saw that event location. The last time I was there in person, it was a different event location. So first time I saw this event location at Festsaal Kreuzberg and Arena Berlin, next to the river, some beach and stuff. It's huge. It's not just a hall. It's not just an academic conference or something. It's really, really, really cool. That's also the reason why I don't like academic conferences, because they never come close to things like this. So Republica, great job. And organizing this and making this event happen again. So many different stages, so many different venues, areas within the overall Republica area. It was just fantastic. Every venue had was very unique. You had an arcade game hall in between different venues. You had so many nice little sprinkles in between that just fit the digital theme so well and makes you feel at home. If you grew up with, digital stuff, millennial or Gen Z, you're yeah, that's where I belong. And I think that's also what makes Republica so special. The Republica conference theme, what makes it so special is it's not an academic conference. It's not a business heavy conference. Of course, you do make business contacts and so on, but it's not like an SMX, for example, like a Seoul Search Marketing Expo or something. It's different, and you feel it. You feel it's different. It's not just business people there. It's actually the digital society there. So many people that are so different from me, and it is fantastic. Because at an SMX you meet digital marketing people, right? At academic conferences you meet academics, and it's all very bubbly. But at Republica, the digital society is just everybody that's just part of the digital thing, right? That movement, that whatever you want to call it, and everybody comes together there. It's fantastic. On the first day, it's a 3-day event. On the first day of the event, I was walking to the venue from the train station. How cool is it that you can just walk? If I walk in Bangkok for 30 seconds, I'm drenched in sweat. So I really enjoyed just walking around for hours in Berlin right now. So I walked to the venue, and then when I left the train, I saw some punks going to the same direction. I'm are they also going to the conferences? People with on those leather jackets, real punks. And I'm this is so cool. Like, look at me. I'm like in kind of like a work outfit, like a work dress, semi-work outfit, at least. They're like in their punk outfit, and we're going to the same event. It's fantastic. Like, so many different points of view on all those things. And like I said earlier, I did have some disagreements with like what I saw, for example. I watched like 2 interviews, 2 talks with like 2 different ministers, 2 different German ministers. Also, how cool is it that like ministers from the government go to such events and let people ask them questions? That's pretty cool. Like, living in Thailand, this is not normal. So this is the props to the German ministers, I think. And while I'm also not a big fan of all the ministers, obviously, because there's always something you can criticize, at times they did make some decent points, and then the audience was like, boo. And I'm like, but that one point he just made sense. Like, why are you just booing him because you want to boo him because he's from the wrong party? Or am I just too old that I agree with the minister right now? Or am I not woke enough? I'm not sure. But then thinking about that, it's actually the cool thing that there are so many people with different opinions, and we're all going there, sharing our opinions, and then talking to each other, listening to what people have to say. And I think that's the cool thing. So I'm happy that I see people with different opinions and mindsets compared to mine, because that's how you learn. That's how you understand others, right? So as you can see, I'm pretty hyped. I haven't been that excited, that hyped for a conference in a while, and maybe that's also like the benefit of not having been at Republica for a while now, because I've been to like lots of academic conferences, obviously, and things like this just never happen. At academic conferences, you're trying to either just show off your research, and then, I mean, you have a super tiny audience. So I've been at one of the smaller stages where I spoke at Republica now, yeah? And even if though it's a smaller stage, I probably had a bigger audience than any of my academic conferences that I go to. So it's just very different. An academic conference is like just academics and trying to poke holes into your research by being super smart or whatever. And at Republica, people just ask lots of questions, and they don't just applaud you. They ask serious questions, but questions not just to make themselves look smart, but to actually get to know more and to actually get actual answers, which is really cool. So yeah, you can see I'm very happy with having been here for 3 days. To be honest, like many academic conferences, I just leave in between and just hang out and then come back again. And in Republica, I just walked around the area, the venue a lot, and just listened to lots of different talks, and just had a great time. So yeah, huge props to Republic for pulling this off. I remember like the last time I was there, I think like I said, like 5 or 6 years ago or something. I always remember that the media was a bit critical about Republica, like it has lost its steam and so on. And while let's be honest, like while we're all getting older, like I saw the organizers on stage, right? And no hate there. I like them all, but I'm like, while I was looking at the organizers while they were doing the interviews and stuff, and I'm like, damn, you guys have gotten old. Because I mean, I've been to one of the first Republicas, like back then when I was like a trainee in Berlin, actually, right? So I've been to one of the first ones. I've been there when it was still at like Friedrichstadtpalast, like one of the first venues, for example. I've been there too. And then I realized, I looked at myself and I'm like, I'm getting old too, damn it. So it's not just him getting old, obviously, older. I'm getting older too. But it's also kind of cool to see that, like the growth, like how, like then one of the founders, like Markus Beckedahl, right, at Netzpolitik, he was talking about how he did some stuff, like how he was like trying to follow the government and looking at them, what they're doing, and like actually traveling with them to like different events and stuff. Like it's 20 years ago. I'm like, oh, wow, yeah, 20 years ago. We've been doing this for a long time, man. Crazy. And still motivated doing those things. Like it's crazy. So yeah, so the talks, I mean, there've been so many talks. I can't recap them all, obviously, and I'm not going to try because I'm going to forget stuff. I'm just going to talk about my talk and not to show off, but what I really enjoyed. So my talk was about, it was called Digital Dreams and Cultural. I'm so tired right now. I talked about it so much. Digital Dreams, Cultural Realities, how Southeast Asia tech Southeast Asian tech-powered pop culture is reshaping the world. And so I just try to explain a little bit of like what's happening in Southeast Asia when it comes to pop culture, to tech development, why it's happening right now, why it's such an interesting topic to think about, because Southeast Asia has been ignored as like an actual player many times, or like a lot. Like when you think Southeast Asia, you just think like beaches, maybe political unrest if you're like a bit familiar with the news, or food maybe. Like I said at the talk, like even though the let's be honest, the Asian takeaway in Berlin, like anywhere, it's like, I mean, if you go to an Asian takeaway, it's like, it says like sushi, then it says Thai food, doner kebab, and Indian curry all in one. Yeah, all in one shop? I'm not sure. But yeah, so maybe that's what you know Southeast Asia for, but not for like pop culture and for tech development and so on. So then I try to like just show like why Southeast Asia deserves some focus there. And I wasn't quite sure if that really gets an audience, because, well, the conference is in Berlin, it's in Germany. There are not that many English talks this time around. There are quite a few, but not. It's like, I can only say like 70% German talks, and then not much Asia/Southeast Asia. Not much. I mean, I think I was probably the only talk about Southeast Asia, and like a few talks about like Asia in general, and a few Chinese talks were announced. But I think I saw that like 2 were canceled or so. So there weren't that many like Asia heavy talks. So I was like, I'm not sure if there's an audience, but then it was pretty packed. It was like, I want to say like all the seats were taken when I started talking, which is pretty cool. So I really appreciate everybody coming out there, and I'm really happy that there was such a big interest in. And after the talk, I talked to, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people that asked more questions. And I struggle with my German. I'm so sorry, but I just haven't been to Germany in like 4 years. I think the last time I was in Germany before was like 2019, and then in 2020, before I wanted to come, the pandemic hit, I believe. And so I haven't been here in like 4 years. And so I've barely spoken any German, especially no formal German. So that's why I just struggle with like answering some questions in German. I'm very sorry. But I appreciate everybody asking those questions, of course. Yeah, so positively surprised, and really looking forward to like if that's just, I mean, of course it's like 10 people, right? It's not very representative, but just seeing that there is some interest in Southeast Asia. So I do hope that like foreign institutions or even just individuals see like the potential that is there in Southeast Asia, because as I said in the talk, it feels like Southeast Asia is like right at the brink of like, we're going to make a splash. Like we have like everything's in place right now. There's like potential for development. The pop culture is booming. We're like on a global stage when it comes to like singers, to fashion, food. Like it's so close to making that big splash on the global scene. And so I'm just happy that if there are a few more eyes now on Southeast Asia that will witness that splash, or maybe even become part of that splash. So that was really, really cool to see. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to make it too long, and I'm also very tired. The thing is, I had my talk on the 3rd day of Republica, of the conference, and while I'm cool with that, no problem. But the thing is, like in my head, it's always there. So like the first 2 days of Republica, I did enjoy, but I couldn't really relax. So then I went to Republica. I had looked at some talks, like met some people and stuff, talked a little bit, but always had in my head, I gotta go back to the hotel and gonna prep my talk. And so I prepped my talk, like, I don't know, I ran through it like 20 times within like within like the last 3 days or so, probably, like crazy, just to make sure that I got everything. And so I was just so tired today, and I'm just so happy that it's now done. I'm also sad that Republica is over though, because it was really, really cool. Like as I said, the venue was cool, the people were cool. I enjoyed meeting lots of different people, even if you not agree on everything, but just being able to exchange ideas, listening to each other, which I think is a skill that's not being practiced enough, like listening to each other and actually like listening to the point and then refuting it, maybe making your own point, and having like a bit of a debate that can be friendly still, right? You don't need to be aggressive towards each other. So I really enjoyed that. It was really cool. And yeah, man, I can't wait to to do this again. And I hope there's going to be more conferences like this, maybe get some inspiration from Republic. Maybe even we can try to do something like this in Southeast Asia, because most conferences, let's be honest, in Southeast Asia are either very academic or like just very, very tech bro-y. Like we have lots of tech conferences, but they're all like wannabe Silicon Valley style. Like, hey, yo, I'm so cool, tech bro here, tech bro there, handshake, hugs. So maybe we can get some inspiration from that. And hey, Republica, I mean, I think I've said it like 8 years ago or so when I made Thailand my home. I still mean it. We can pull that off in Southeast Asia. I think Republica goes Southeast Asia. How about that? That would be cool, right? Let's do it. Until then, I'm gonna just pass out. I'm also jet lagged. It's also the age, right? So I'm gonna pass out now. Until then, let me know if you went to Republica. How did you like it? What were your highlights? And if you haven't, like, just what do you think about, for example, Southeast Asia in terms of like pop culture and like tech development? And well, what kind of conferences do you usually attend, and do you like them? Yeah, let me know. Shout out. Leave comments, rate the podcast if possible, because that always helps with the algorithm. Yeah, like, share, subscribe. Watch me fall asleep now. Take care, stay safe. Savadee Cup.